Could China attack Taiwan? That's a question that's giving some of us low-level anxiety, and we're going to be talking about it in today's show. I'm Andrew Ryan.
I'm Natalie Tso. Let's first take a look at the stories on our radar this week.
Lawmakers have sent a bill that combats foreign election interference directly to a second reading. The bill was proposed after self-proclaimed Chinese spy Wang Liqiang applied for asylum in Australia, saying that he had taken part in Chinese espionage operations in Taiwan. Major questions linger over the validity of Wang's story, and Taiwan's government says it's asked Australia to share information. There's been a 20% jump this year in the number of Hong Kong residents applying to move to Taiwan. With the unrest in Hong Kong, Taiwan's universities are also welcoming more visiting students from Hong Kong. A Taiwanese gymnast has a move named after her. The International Gymnastics Federation officially recognized what's called the Dinghua Tian, a split leap to ring position with a 180-degree turn. Ding is the first Taiwanese gymnast to have this honor. Betel nut is a chewable stimulant popular in Taiwan but linked to cancer. Residents of Nantou County in central Taiwan are now putting the discarded leaves to a healthy use, creating sustainable bowls and dishes. And under the radar this week is 73-year-old Li Mingde. He has spent years pushing his trash cart across Taiwan, picking up whatever litter he can find along the way. Despite his age, Lin is now on his 10th trash collecting expedition, crossing long distances on foot just to make Taiwan a cleaner place.
And now for our words of the week. Andrew, you ready?
Yes, let's see what you have.
All right.
Oh, compact, control, contact, content.
A lot of guesses
Yes,
there.
lots of guesses, none of them right.
Okay. The word is contend, and today we're going to be telling you how China might contend with Taiwan in a military conflict. Also, I'll be introducing some of the athletes from Taiwan that will be contending for Olympic medals at the Olympics next year.
Excellent. That's a great word.
Thanks.
Haven't had that one yet. Actually, we've done pretty good.
Yeah, we
They're
haven't
all
repeated
new.
too many words.
All right, you ready for
Yeah.
mine?
Mm-hmm.
Also not a repeat, I don't think. We'll find out.
Destroy, destructive, demolition, Democrat? Democracy.
Yeah, democracy. Yes, democracy. And the reason why I chose this word this week is because, usually with the elections, we're so focused on the two positions and how much they differ with each other that we forget that actually the one thing that both sides agree on is Taiwan's democracy, this hard-won democracy. A little bit later on in Taiwan Explained, I'm also going to be talking about Taiwan's path to democracy and one of the most dramatic and important events that happened on that path, which was 40 years ago this week.
All right, let's put our words up on the shelf.
All right. Also today, do you know where this is? The man is a drummer from a renowned performance group. He's standing in the ruins of his rehearsal space of 30 years. So where in Taiwan is this, and why is he standing there? We'll have those answers for you at the end of our show in Where in Taiwan. This week we learned that the military is doubling up on protection of the president. That's in the event of an attack on Taiwan's Central Command. Let's have a look.
CM-34 armored vehicles made their debut in May at Taiwan's annual Hanguang military exercises. This month, 6 of them will be added to a fleet commissioned to protect the president in the event of an attack. That will make the fleet stronger than ever. The CM-34 armored vehicles have 3-meter machine guns that can fire at night and up to 3 kilometers away. They will join 6 clouded Leopard vehicles that are already protecting the president. The military says the new CM-34 vehicles will be ready to evacuate the president in the event that China tries to take out Taiwan's Central Command. China sees Taiwan as part of its territory and has not renounced the use of force to unify the two sides. China's People's Liberation Army is about 8 times the size of Taiwan's army. Earlier today, I spoke with top defense expert, Danjiang University professor Alexander Huang. Huang is the chairman of the Council on Strategic and Wargaming Studies. He explained why it's so important to protect the president.
The modern nature of warfare had determined that country or adversaries can use a long-range assault to decapitate the command center, which includes the president and all key national security advisors. People believe that if you wipe out the head and the body, no matter how strong the body would be, the outcome has been decided. There are people arguing that if China can kill Taiwan in one shot, which means that make a decisive outcome appear within 72 hours, then they can prevent foreign intervention at all, because the international community would not be able to react.
So under what conditions do you think China would make that move?
I think China has a long agenda for itself. China needs to reach a benchmark called the level of moderate prosperity in all sectors, which means that China would not have any county below the poverty line. They set the goal for 2020, and by 2021, China will celebrate the centennial of the Communist Party, and 2022 will be the end of the 5-year term of the General Secretary Xi Jinping. So if he wanted to renew his position, both in party and in government, he needs a peaceful environment. Unplanned military conflict, even local or regional, would probably disrupt his plan.
What do you think is Taiwan's best defense against China?
I think our best defense is to make sure that we have a peaceful and calm political process, setting the example, showing Beijing that no matter what happens, we have a very successful, very peaceful political process. We elect our own president. Every time we peacefully, calmly elect our national leader, is another proof that democracy can work in Taiwan and in the ethnic Chinese community.
You'll want to check out Natalie's full interview with Professor Huang. We'll have that for you on the Taiwan Insider Facebook page and on YouTube. This coming Tuesday, December 10th, is Human Rights Day. It's also the 40th anniversary of one of the most dramatic events in Taiwan's path to democracy, the Kaohsiung Incident. And that's the subject of today's Taiwan Explained. 40 years ago, on December 10th, 1979, democracy activists held a rally in Kaohsiung, southern Taiwan. It was called later on the Kaohsiung Incident. Now, they didn't realize it at the time, but it would become one of the most important moments in Taiwan's road to democracy. And that's the subject of today's Taiwan Explained.
Great. So you have 60 seconds to explain that. Are you ready?
I think so.
All right, go.
All right. First, some background. In 1979, Taiwan was under martial law and single-party rule. It was governed by the Kuomintang, or KMT, which retreated from China to Taiwan in the 1940s. Now, the government had tight control on the media, but that didn't stop activists from starting the Formosa magazine in 1979, in May of that year. Now, the magazine did very well. Its second and third issues selling almost 100,000 copies, and that got the authorities' attention. Now, the magazine arranged a Human Rights Day celebration on December 10th that year. The military police and the army surrounded the demonstrators. Clashes broke out, and the authorities used the incident as an excuse to arrest almost all of the well-known opposition leaders. Now, the 8 prominent leaders were known as the Kaohsiung 8. They were they were tried in military court, sentenced to 12 years to life in prison. Another 36 people were also charged. Now, the incident led to a decade of protests, more arrests, and it galvanized the pro-democracy movement. And it led to the founding of the Democratic Progressive Party.
Very good, Andrew.
All right.
And that was very interesting. And I know that a lot of those 8 would become famous politicians later,
That's
right?
right. Actually, they were all known for being part of what was called the Dangwai movement, so outside of the party, so AKA not the KMT. And they actually would go on to form their own party, as I mentioned, and 7 of the 8 would become part of the DPP. All of them would go into politics or government in one way or another. So I want to show you some of them. Of course, in the center there, that's Annette Lu, who is former vice president. She almost ran for president this year. On the right, that's Chen Zhu. She was the mayor of Kaohsiung for a while and also is currently the secretary general to the president. And then on the left, we have Shi Mingde, who is a former DPP chairman, and also he was a lawmaker as well.
Some of the human rights lawyers also became very famous and powerful.
That's right. So the lawyers for the Kaohsiung 8 and for others also would go on to do big things. In the center there, that's Chen Shui-bian, who's a former president, a 2-term president. On the right is Frank Xie, a former premier, who's currently Taiwan's representative to Japan. And on the left there is the current premier, Su Zhenchang. So they all went on to go into government.
Yes, it's very interesting and fascinating. Thank you very much, Andrew. And that is our Taiwan Explained for this week. In today's Taiwan by Number, we're going to be talking about Taiwan's Olympic athletes who will be competing in Tokyo next summer. Now, recently, we had an amazing gymnast make an amazing move that we'll be seeing in just a moment, Ding Hua-tian. And I want to ask you guys, before we watch that video, when was the last, she'll be competing in the Olympics, by the way. When is the last time we sent a female gymnast to the Olympics? What year was it?
I don't think we ever did. Did we?
Go for it. I'm waiting for
I'm
you.
going to say never.
Never, okay.
I'm going to say 1968.
1968. Okay, let's take a look first at this video.
Watch out 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Taiwan has a gymnastics star heading your way. Ding Hua-tian is only 17 years old, but she's the first female Taiwanese gymnast to qualify for the Olympics since 1968 in Mexico. Now she's coming armed with another superlative. She has a move named after her. That makes her the first Taiwanese gymnast with that honor. The move is called the Ding Hua-tian split leap to ring position with 180-degree turn, and this is what it looks like. Ding jumps into the air and does splits while turning mid-air. The International Gymnastics Federation has officially added the move to the code of points for women's gymnastics. The maneuver was assigned a difficulty of D on a scale from A to J, with J being the most difficult. Successful execution of the move is worth 0.4 points.
Since I jumped so well, I decided to throw in a 180-degree turn. Then I realized no one has done this move before.
Ding's coach Cai Hengzhen says that getting the move recognized was a necessity.
If a move isn't recognized by the gymnastics rulebook, then it doesn't count for points, so we had to apply to make it official.
Ding says that her next move is to take a medal at the Olympics.
That is so cool. I want a move named after me.
So she's only 17 years old. She's already marking a legacy. Isn't that amazing?
That's really impressive.
So the last time we sent a female gymnast, right? You said never?
Yes.
And
I'm
you said
regretting that.
I said 1968.
Okay, let's take a look at the answer.
Whoa.
You are right, Leslie.
1968.
The guy who did that video sounded quite like me, so I think
You
that helped me a
remembered
little
51 years and you subtracted?
bit. Yeah.
Good for you. Good math.
I think he's cheating, but I'm not sure. That's about time you got one right.
Very
Nice.
good, very good. Okay, so we're also sending a gymnastics team, a male gymnastics team, to the Olympics, and our star is the pommel horse prince Li Zikai. You guys have heard of him?
Yep.
Actually, he became famous in 2005 when the documentary came out called Boys Jump. And he was the one who was jumping, doing lots of stunts near his mother's market stall to attract business.
Oh,
So he was like really cute in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's been doing very well on the world stage. How many gold medals has he won in global competitions so far?
I know he got one for sure.
Uh-huh.
That's during the Universiade in Taipei.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sure it's more. Boy is talented.
Natalie said very good. She's been doing very well.
So, you know what? I'm going to say 5.
5. Okay. How about you?
I'm going to double it. I'm going to say 10.
10.
Wow.
Okay, let's take a look at the answer.
7.
7.
Meet
Pretty
you
good,
halfway.
right?
Meet you halfway. Nicely done.
Okay, now we also have a swimmer, a very young, talented swimmer, 20-year-old Wang who qualified in August at the Hong Kong Open, and he qualified doing the individual medley. He also broke Taiwan's record in the meantime. And the individual 200-meter medley is a lap of butterfly, freestyle, backstroke, and breaststroke. How fast did he swim?
Oh, come on.
You said 200 meters.
Right.
Four
Four
So
different
50,
styles.
50, 50, 50. I'm going to say you first.
I want to say, oh my goodness, 2 minutes?
Okay.
I'm going to say less than that. I think it's going to be about 1 minute and 38.
Let's take a look at the answer.
Oh, 159. Okay. So I was a
I'm
little
on
fast.
Fire.
I was just basing it on how fast I swim.
I'm on fire today.
All right, so I don't know why it just sounded so fast.
You swim real fast. My goodness. Why aren't you in these teams? Then again, you'd be Team USA. You'd be...
Yeah, I wouldn't be in there. No.
Okay, one last question.
Okay.
So in the last Olympics, we sent 57 athletes to compete in 18 sports. How many medals did we win?
Wait,
This
do it
was
again?
in Rio
Uh-huh.
in 2016. We sent 57 athletes to compete in 18 sports. How many medals did we win?
18 sports.
I'm going to say 4.
4, okay.
Like, are you just saying like gold or all
wow.
silver, bronze,
I'm
and
going to
I'm
say
talking about gold, silver, and bronze all together.
I'm going to say 6.
I'm gonna say 27. I don't know why, but that
27.
I don't know.
That's a
Well, my
good
fingers
number,
somewhere
very
else.
nice
I like
number.
that positive thinking.
I'm on fire today. I'm
Good,
sticking with
good.
it.
All right.
Okay, let's take a look. We won 3. Okay, so that's the archery team. 3's not too bad.
I was so close, and then you pulled me off of my good number.
Now you make it seem so bad.
My answer
It's
was a
not so
multiple
bad.
of 3. Does that count?
Maybe next year, all right? Maybe next year. So the 3 in the picture was the women's archery team. They won bronze, and they're going back this year with the men's archery team. We also won 2 in weightlifting, a gold and bronze.
That's right. Taiwan's very good at weightlifting, very good at taekwondo.
Yes.
Very good at archery.
Right. Last time was the first time we didn't win in taekwondo for quite a few times. So,
wow.
anyways, we have a lot of great athletes to watch, and we'll be telling you more about them in months to come. But that is Taiwan by Number for this week.
This week on Who in Taiwan, Natalie and Andrew will be guessing this unconventional ambassador. Now, are you guys ready?
Not
Yes. I mean, no.
On buzzer
Guys
number
want
1,
to be.
I have Natalie. And buzzer number 2, I have Andrew. Here we go, you guys. You can have this one for free, all right? Number 1, I admire the bananas out of him.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He was born in Taipei, Taiwan. He helped found a menswear brand in Taiwan. He is 193 centimeters tall. He voiced Ken doll in the Taiwanese release of Toy Story 3. His father was the general manager of Michelin Taiwan. He is the youngest of 3. He moved to Canada at a young age. Andrew.
Is that Godfrey Gao?
That is Godfrey Gao. And
Just sad.
yeah,
story.
so let me give you the last few before I tell
Yeah,
you why
sure.
I wanted to use him as Who in Taiwan. He is of Taiwanese and Malaysian descent, and the most impressive, he was the very first Asian model for Louis Vuitton.
Wow.
Now, last week, right after the show ended, news dropped of Godfrey Gao unfortunately passing of cardiac arrest at the age of 35 while he was filming in Ningbo, Zhejiang.
He was on it was like a reality TV show, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And so
Chase
he was.
Me, yeah.
I actually, I saw him on Monday night, the night before he passed away.
Yeah.
It was in an event in Taipei. He looked so alive and just so, such a beautiful guy, too.
He, as an Asian American man myself, he brought us a lot of hope. He showed us, a lot of the possibilities that we could achieve. He worked very, very hard. The doctors have already said that his symptoms were a result of lack of rest and overwork.
Oh,
And,
Well,
that's
I mean,
terrible.
if I saw him on Monday night and then
The
the next day
he's
he would have
taping.
flown all the way to China
You saw
for
him in
taping.
Taipei.
I saw him in Taipei.
That's right.
And so he would have gotten on a plane and flown to Zhejiang the next day, and I think it was happened in the middle of the night too. They were
it
having
was-
some kind of race. He was running maybe,
Yeah.
and had cardiac arrest.
At the age of 35, so that goes to show, everybody, you really got to take care of yourself. And I'm very honored that my first tour in Taiwan can be used to commemorate someone of such high praise.
That's a great person to do.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, and that's today's Who in Taiwan.
This week on #Taiwan, Lady Gaga. Now, she can sing, she can act, and she found herself in some controversy this week. What happened? Well, being the big international star that Lady Gaga is, she's got fans on Weibo, which is the huge Chinese social media platform. Now, one user with the handle Lady Gaga China Official took to that platform and vented some of her dissatisfaction with Gaga's recent actions.
Uh-oh.
That's right. And it's a long rant, so I'm going to give you the abridged version. Lady Gaga China Official said, I have stood by Lady Gaga for 8 years. I discovered that Lady Gaga followed a Hong Kong activist on social media. I never thought there would be a day where I'd unfollow Lady Gaga. Now, the implication here is that following a Hong Kong activist is a bad thing. And the activist in question is this person, Emily Chang. Pharmacist, Hong Kong citizen, and book lover, but on her tagline she also has Free Hong Kong Revolution of Our Age, which has become something of a motto for the protesters over in Hong Kong, and she is indeed followed by Lady Gaga. Now, the rant didn't end there. In fact, some excerpts go on to talk about Lady Gaga's 3 meetings with the Dalai Lama, but being this is #Taiwan, you can imagine that this user was not very happy with Lady Gaga's stance on Taiwan either.
Uh-oh.
She said the Lady Gaga official website lists Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau as separate countries. And with regards to the movie starring Gaga having a Taiwanese independence flag in it, I told myself that was a producer's decision.
What movie is that?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know she had.
So here we go to
That's
the next
pretty
part, right?
Interesting.
Now, Lady Gaga starred in a movie with Bradley Cooper, whom I admire, by the way, called A Star is Born.
Great
now,
movie,
that's
yeah.
the only movie where Gaga has a film credit in a starring role. There was nothing about an independence flag in there, or a Taiwanese flag at least, but I did find this. In 2012, when Lady Gaga came for a concert
Pretty
in
cool
Taiwan,
looking.
she rocked the Taiwanese flag on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Not only that, but when she landed and gave interviews, she explicitly referred to Taiwan as a country, saying, "This is my first time in Taiwan, and your country is beautiful." Now, I couldn't imagine that made the user any happier, and the rest of the rant goes on to talk about how she's swearing off Gaga, he or she is swearing off Gaga, and they don't want anything to do with them anymore. They're done with the disillusion, and just talk about disenchantment.
So they're not Gaga for Gaga.
They are not. No longer are they Gaga for Gaga.
And they are so sensitive. Any little move that someone makes, they think it has a
It was just a
personal
tiny follow. In
attack
fact,
on China.
there was a German DJ, his name is Zed. He followed the creators of South Park, and that got him a lifetime ban from China for performing in China ever.
Wow.
So this is
Wow.
a very sensitive topic over there, and you never know what's going to get you a ban or decries from China.
It used to be you had to do a movie like 7 Years in Tibet, in order to get in trouble.
To get
Now,
attention.
just following somebody on social media.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much, Leslie. And that is #Taiwan for this week. Do follow us on social media and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.
And finally today, where in Taiwan? Now at the top of the show, we showed you a photo and asked if you knew where it was. Let's take one more look at that photo.
We said that the man was a performer standing in the ruins of his theater company's performance space.
So where in Taiwan is this? Let's take a look at this video. This is the remains of the iconic percussion group Youth Theater's training compound on Laoquan San. It was destroyed in a fire in August. The group held a performance in honor of their plans to restore the rehearsal and spiritual center. Youth Theater is globally acclaimed for their performances combining Eastern and Western elements of Zen meditation, drumming, martial arts, and dance. Youth Theater founder Liu Ruoyu said that this is where Youth Theater was born and nurtured. This mountain is not big or busy. Its simplicity made it the best place for creating works. This mountain is where they would meditate and conceive their works. Youth Theater has raised half the funds they need for its $2 million reconstruction project. It welcomes the public to donate to help restore their mountainous home.
You know, as I was watching the video, I was thinking back, I actually have drummed with them in that very
Really?
location.
Are you serious? What was it like?
It's really amazing. It's a beautiful theater, and it's very zen-like to be drumming up in the mountains.
Very relaxing.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll be able to make a comeback like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this inside look at Taiwan this week. Be sure to connect with us on social media.
Yes, leave a comment below. For Taiwan Insider, I am Natalie Tso.
I'm Leslie Liao.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. See you next week.